It's Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady
is the best.
They have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history.
Tom Brady, Super Bowl champion for the 7th time.
Tom Brady is the kind of quarterback football simply wasn't ready for. He didn't just break records, he collected them like trophies. 10 Super Bowl appearances, more than most franchises have in their entire history, and 7 championships, a number so unreal it almost feels impossible. His success didn't fade with age, it somehow grew stronger. At 44, when other quarterbacks can barely stay healthy, Brady was leading the league in passing yards, touchdown passes, and fourth-quarter heroics. And when the game was tight, when the pressure could break anyone else, Brady remained calm enough to rewrite endings. He delivered more game-winning drives and comeback victories than any quarterback who has ever touched an NFL field. Postseason dominance? No one even comes close. When January arrived, teams didn't game plan for Tom Brady, they prayed. But here's the crazy part. For most of his career, Brady didn't just fight pass rushers. He fought critics, doubters, and an entire generation of fans who couldn't accept that a slow, unathletic, overlooked 6th-round pick was becoming the greatest player the sport had ever seen. This is the story of the man who wasn't supposed to be here, the man who changed football forever, and the man whose greatness only grew louder every time someone tried to deny it. Tom Brady's journey didn't begin with bright lights, praise, or NFL dreams that felt guaranteed. It began with doubt. A lot of it. In high school, Brady wasn't the superstar coaches fought over. He was the kid battling for a starting spot. The kid who had to record his own highlight tapes and mail them to schools, hoping someone, anyone, would notice. And even when Michigan finally gave him a chance, nothing changed overnight. At Michigan, Brady spent years buried on the depth chart. He watched other quarterbacks take the field while he waited and waited. Most players would have transferred. Most players would have quit. But Brady wasn't most players. When his moment finally came, he didn't explode onto the scene. He fought for every snap. He played through boos from his own fans, through competition from a freshman phenom replacing him mid-game, and through constant questions about whether he was actually good enough. But somewhere inside, Brady had a switch. A quiet fire most people never saw. A competitiveness so raw, it made up for every athletic weakness. A mindset built on proving people wrong, not through talk, but through obsession. By the time the NFL draft arrived, Brady had done enough to earn respect, but not enough to earn belief. Teams wanted flash. Teams wanted speed. Teams wanted everything Brady didn't have. So he sat, pick after pick, round after round, until finally, pick 199. The greatest quarterback of all time was almost forgotten. But here's the question that defines everything. How did a quarterback nobody wanted become the most accomplished player in NFL history? He was underestimated, so much so that even the team that drafted him didn't fully grasp what they had just found. When Tom Brady walked into the Patriots facility for the first time, there was no special treatment, no spotlight, no celebration. He was the 4th quarterback on the roster, sharing a locker room with players who had already dismissed him before he ever touched the field. He didn't look like a franchise savior. He didn't throw like a future legend. But he carried something no scout could measure, a belief that he was better than everyone who doubted him. Brady didn't complain. He didn't demand anything. He simply worked harder than anyone else in the building. He studied film until the lights went out. He stayed on the practice field longer than players whose jobs were actually secure. He was preparing for a moment that hadn't arrived yet, a moment he wasn't even promised. But destiny sometimes arrives disguised as disaster. Early in the 2001 season, Drew Bledsoe, New England's superstar franchise quarterback, took a brutal hit that changed everything. The stadium went silent. The season felt lost. And then, quietly, without drama, without warning, Tom Brady jogged onto the field. This wasn't supposed to happen. Not this early.
Not like this. Not with a 6th-round pick the world had written off. But the second Brady took command of the huddle, something felt different. His voice wasn't shaky. His eyes weren't overwhelmed. He spoke like someone who had been preparing for this exact moment his entire life. And he had. But here's the real mystery. The moment Brady took over, the Patriots changed. The energy shifted. The locker room started believing. Wins followed, which leads to the question, how did a backup quarterback with zero expectations suddenly transform an entire franchise into a contender overnight?
What happened next wasn't luck or coincidence. It was the moment Tom Brady's identity revealed itself, not just to the Patriots, but to the entire NFL. When Brady became the starter, New England didn't turn flashy or explosive. They became disciplined, sharp, and unbelievably hard to beat. Brady didn't try to be a superstar. He tried to be perfect. Every throw was smart, every drive controlled. He played like someone who wasn't chasing attention, just someone who refused to make mistakes. And that made him dangerous. Under Brady, the Patriots tightened up. The defense fed off his calm. The offense trusted his decisions. Win by win, this unknown backup became the heartbeat of the team. By the end of 2001, he had taken New England to the playoffs. Then came the AFC Championship game. Brady got injured. The fairy tale cracked, but the Patriots didn't fall apart. Brady had already changed them. They won and reached the Super Bowl. Against the Rams, the greatest show on turf, Brady was counted out. Yet with the game tied in the final minutes, he marched the Patriots down the field with complete precision. The winning kick went through, and a new champion was born. But the real question remained, was this the beginning or just a miracle run?
If 2001 was a shock, the years that followed proved Tom Brady wasn't a fluke. He didn't fade, get exposed, or crumble under pressure. He improved. The Patriots evolved into a machine built on discipline, intelligence, and relentlessness, with Brady powering everything. He didn't have the strongest arm or the prettiest deep ball, but his mind was unmatched. Brady studied defenses until he could predict plays before they happened. Every shift, every rotation, every tiny detail, he noticed it all. As his confidence grew, so did New England's dominance. 3 Super Bowls in 4 years turned the Patriots into a dynasty, led by a quarterback who almost never repeated mistakes. But true greatness isn't defined by easy seasons. It's defined by adversity. In 2007, Brady finally got the superstar weapon critics said he lacked, Randy Moss. The result was destruction. Brady threw 50 touchdowns, the Patriots went 16-0, and they looked unstoppable. Then came the miracle helmet catch. A perfect season shattered. A loss that stunned the world. Most players break after something like that. But Tom Brady wasn't most players. Instead of collapsing, he hardened. And what came next would become one of the greatest second acts in sports history.
After the heartbreak of 2007, many believed Tom Brady's peak was over. He was older, already a champion, and critics thought the dynasty had run its course. But instead of fading, Brady reinvented himself. He sharpened his mechanics, sped up his reads, and transformed his training and diet to build a body made for longevity, not just explosiveness. Then came another setback, his ACL tear in 2008. Most quarterbacks never return the same. Brady didn't just return, he evolved. Over the next decade, he reached levels no quarterback had even imagined, leading historic comebacks and unforgettable playoff runs. Then came Super Bowl LI. Down 28-3, the world turned off its TVs and declared the game over. But Brady didn't. One precise drive at a time, he engineered the greatest comeback in NFL history. And in that moment, any remaining doubt disappeared. Brady wasn't just great, he was inevitable. The years that followed only strengthened his legacy. More Super Bowls, more clutch moments, and even a championship with a brand new team in Tampa Bay. He won at 24 and again at 44, something unheard of. Tom Brady didn't become the greatest by being the most gifted. He became the greatest because he refused to accept limits.